You are so early. Yeah, no talk. You're the very first one. You're definitely the very first one. 你今天是最早进来的。我看看啊，女生可以叫老婆，男生不可以叫，没显示性别。How are you guys？你们今天眼睛肿肿的，应该就是没睡好。Maybe it's because I did not sleep very well last night, so that's why you see like my eyes are swelling. Yeah, usually you would notice one thing, which is when I first started this live stream, like my eyes would just be looking like this, and during the live stream, it will go down. This like swelling will go down to normal. 这个 No Talk 你可以慢慢看一下哈，就是通常一开始的时候都会有点肿，然后肿着，到2个小时以后就消下去了。Yeah. 因为现在是早上嘛，it's because it's usually just because I literally just woke up around like an hour ago, so still was in the wake up mode, right? That's why. Yeah, and today is actually still okay. I remember, if you guys remember, there was one time that I went to Shenzhen for a business trip. 来听五行了哈，一会儿讲，等人稍微多一点讲哈，这会儿人还不算多。Yeah, so it was in business trip on in which month? In March or April, I forgot, right? And was in Shenzhen. So it was basically just doing the live stream in the hotel. So somehow I was really, not good at sleep whenever I change bed. I have this kind of problem that I do need to sleep on the bed that I am familiar with. So whenever I go out traveling or whenever I just go on business trip, I have to sleep in some other hotels and sleep in the bed for the very first night. Usually that first night is not a very good night. So that's a problem with me. So that's why I remember back then when I was doing the live stream in Shenzhen during my business trip, the whole face when I woke up in the morning was like pretty much just swelling. And somehow when my business partner, every morning they know I have this live stream, right? So they would also turn it on and join my live stream and saw my face. And right after, so I told you guys, right, usually right after this live stream, we would have our daily morning meeting. So they were like, "Oh my god, I saw you this morning," and it was so hilarious to see your whole face was basically just swelling. Yeah, today was also like that, but was a little bit better than that day. That day I could just barely open my eyes. It's like this, I still I still have the recording of that day, maybe in YouTube or something. So if you guys just go search there and saw a video of me with different backgrounds, so this is usually the kind of background I would use, right? And somehow if it's a background, it's like it's a background of a hotel. So that's my business trip, and you will see me like the face was like so much different than usual. Yeah, welcome my friend. How are you guys? Yeah, 我今天把那个信息卡放一下，每次都忘记。Yeah. How are you guys? Hello. Okay, let me see. Lovely as always, my dear friend. You're lovely as well, my friend. Hello, 你好吗？我很好. How are you? JB3 none? That is a very interesting username. Okay, hello, hi. 早上好, Shaoxi. Great, great. Good job. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Yeah, keep it up. Yeah, yeah. So usually the first hour is the kind of time for me to try to wake myself up. Yeah. So every morning, so I usually wake up at around 6:45 something, and then just get up and try to do all the morning routine. Okay, let me this curtain. Do all the morning routine and start the live and sit down around 7:30 and then try to set up everything. So if everything can be set up very quickly, very easily, then I can start at like 7:30 sharp. somehow usually every day there will be some mistakes, some problems, technical problems, then I will have to spend some time to fix everything. If that happens, then I start at around like 7:35 or sometimes 7:40. Yeah. So no talk, you definitely wake up early today. So that's why you're the very first one to join this live stream today. Yeah. And so for those of you who are new in here and who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. Okay, don't forget to follow me. Yeah. So for those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. And also, just so you see, there's a group in here on top right corner of Red Note. So this is our followers group. This is our followers group. Don't forget to join it. Okay, don't forget to join it, my friend. Don't forget to join it. And this is our family. Yeah, I already see lots of comments are coming in on the other platform as well. Yeah. So in which city do you live? I live in Shanghai, my friend. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Is China you seem to be very curious about our social structure, society structure. So I do encourage all the foreign friends to come to China to pay a visit. Okay, yeah, to pay a visit. So we're gonna have some chit chat for the first hour to help me wake up. And somehow, like I could feel like today is not so so wake up as usual. Yeah, but no talk. Do you notice that actually my eyes is getting better? Yeah, like a little better, a little bit better than before, than just now. Any plans for Dragon Boat Festival? Oh, Shashi, you know about our Dragon Boat Festival. Yeah, do you guys know about the Dragon Boat Festival for our foreign friends? Do you guys all know about Dragon Boat Festival? Okay, so let's do this. For foreign friends, just type in the comment area to tell me if you know about our Dragon Boat Festival. Let's do this. Okay, so for foreign friends, if you know about our Dragon Boat Festival, type 1. If you do not know, type 2. Okay, so that's our foreign friends. And for our Chinese friend, so we are about to have this holiday, which is a Dragon Boat Festival. Just tell me in the comment what's your plan. What is your plan during the Dragon Boat Festival? Okay, so we need to have more interaction. Okay, one of the key problems here with my live stream is that we do not have enough interaction. So that's why like we need to have lots of interaction. Okay, so again, for our foreign friends, if you have heard about Dragon Boat Festival, type 1. If you have not heard about Dragon Boat Festival, type 2. Okay, and for all of our Chinese friends, we're about to have 3-day holiday, even though 2 of them are just basically weekends. So somehow we're gonna have 3-day holidays. This is gonna be a long weekend. Just tell me in the comment what is your plan for this long weekend. Do you have anything special in your mind that you will do in this coming weekend? Yeah, if yes, tell me in the comment. Okay, tell me in the comment. If you are lazy, you could just basically find an emoji that represents your activities for this coming long weekends and just type it in this comment area. Okay, that is gonna be fun. That is gonna be fun. 然后中国的宝宝们，大家可以玩一点抽象哈。我发现其实有很多评论区有很多的人才。昨天我问大家五行是什么，中国的五行是什么？然后有人跟我说什么天雷勾地火、油盐酱醋茶，还有说什么都是人才，德智体美劳都是人才。OK，大家今天也可以继续做人才哈，继续做人才，在评论区里边打出一些非常抽象的回答，很欢迎。Yeah, let's see. Okay, lots of people are typing the answer. We definitely need more interaction, okay? We need more interaction people in here. So again, a third round for our foreign friends who do not know who knows about our Dragon Boat Festival type 1, okay? So for those of people who do not know our Dragon Boat Festival type 2, okay? And for Chinese friends, you guys for sure know about our Dragon Boat Festival and we're going to have this long weekend, okay? So we're going to have 3 days off for this long weekend instead of only 2. So just tell me in the comment, what is your plan for this long weekend? Okay, what is your plan for this one long weekend? What is the special thing you plan to do for this long weekend? And like I said, for our Chinese friends, I encourage you to be creative when it comes to the answer. It doesn't really matter what you really plan to do for this weekend. You could just tell me what you really plan to do for this weekend. You could also do one thing, which is try to give us some creative answers. Okay, creative answers in the comment. I said that yesterday I asked people the question, what are the 5 elements in Chinese ancient like 5 element system. 我问大家中国五行的元素有什么，大家给到我的答案真的是太搞笑，太搞笑了。昨天大家真的玩抽象玩到非常的棒，都是人才哈。 我问大家说中国的五行到底是哪5样东西？结果有人跟我说德智体美劳、油盐酱醋茶、天雷勾地火，这太搞笑了。Yeah, and anything else I forgot, but there are so many funny answers. So I'm so looking forward to you guys giving all of us some very funny answers. Okay, GB3 None, are you trying to learn Chinese? I really like the fact you're using Chinese to interact with me. Okay, yeah. So, okay, yeah, let me see. A lot of people do not know what is Dragon Boat Festival in here. Okay, I see it. So, okay, so first of all, a little bit knowledge about what Dragon Boat Festival is. Okay, so Dragon Boat Festival is one of the very important festival here in China. So somehow the reason why we had this Dragon Boat Festival was because in ancient time there was a very famous poet, and somehow he's also very patriotic about this country. Okay, so he made lots of suggestions to the emperor. Back then was not a good emperor, so somehow all of his suggestion was not taken by this emperor, and this country was just, because there was this emperor was pretty bad at ruling, and he did not take the advice from the good people. So that's why, as a good, how do you say 大臣呢? Yeah, as a good person, as a good 谋士啊，这个怎么说呢？英文怎么说？中文怎么说都不太知道。Yeah. So, okay, Christy, I will answer your question. Okay. Later. So what happens to him is that, okay, he gave lots of good suggestions to the emperor, but somehow the emperor would only listen to those bad guys. Okay, so this emperor ruled this country such badly that this country was invaded by others and about to just basically taken by others. So somehow this poet was so sad about this country, was so sad about, like, there's so little he could do, and that's why he committed suicide by jumping into the river. Okay, by jumping into the river. So because of that, all the people in here in China in the Asian time, we really love this guy, really love this guy. He's also a poet, so he wrote many good poems. Okay, and many of the poems that everyone just have to recite that, and we have to, just have exams and recite his poems. So everyone do know at least one sentence of his poems, right? 在上海，在上海屈原哈，大家有谁那个中国的宝宝们屈原的诗写一些在评论里？屈原的诗写一些在评论里，考考大家语文哈，考考大家语文。大家语文以前学的怎么样？屈原的诗还能不能背得出来？Okay, I'm actually asking the Chinese friends to type some of the poems written by Qu Yuan, which is the famous poet I was talking about. And here in the common areas, I was trying to check whether everyone is learning Chinese very well when they were little, because Qu Yuan, his poet was a must learn for all the Chinese people in here. Was a must learn in for all the Chinese people in here. Yeah. Guys, follow me please if you haven't done so. Okay, 众人皆醉我独醒。对，路漫漫其修远兮，吾将上下而求索。Chrissy Lucy， 我来跟你分享一下，我们以前小时候不是高考要写语文作文嘛？结果我发现所有的语文作文的最后一段结尾都可以用路漫漫其修远兮，吾将上下而求索来结尾。所以我高考的作文到最后的最后一段哈，高考作文最后一段不是要写总结的嘛？我高考最后一段的第一句话就是路漫漫其修远兮，吾将上下而求索。somehow 就是你好像高考的作文只要是议论文性题材的，好像最后一段都可以用这句话来开始起笔啊。所以我以前小的时候高考的时候，就高中的时候写作文，我印象特别深。高考就是高中的时候写作文，每次要写作文最后一段的第一句永远都是路漫漫其修远兮，因为太简单了，只要写这句话，然后最后加一个总结，啪一篇作文就写完了。Yeah. I was basically just sharing with all the Chinese friends that somehow like one of the sentence inside Qu Yuan's poem was so suitable for our university entrance examination. Somehow, like no matter what kind of examination, what kind of essays we were asked to write in the university entrance examination, for the last paragraph, you could always use this sentence, 路漫漫其修远兮，吾将上下而求索. This poem wrote by Qu Yuan as the summary, as the conclusion for the last paragraph. So this sentence inside his poem which is like 路漫漫其修远兮，吾将上下而求索. When you translate that into English, basically means that you have a long road, you have long path ahead of you, that you will have just to go along the path to experience your life and then to try to search a meaning for it, something like that. Okay, so if you translate that into English, so somehow this English sounds very so somehow the English translation, even though I do it in a very plain way, it already sounds pretty beautiful, right? So not to mention if you listen to it and really understand it in Chinese, that is a pretty good saying. Okay, that is pretty good saying. Like 路漫漫其修远兮，吾将上下而求索。这个真的是要感谢屈原大神。Yeah, thank you 屈原大神。Somehow, because to be honest, back then I was really good at many subjects. I was really good at like definitely English, right? Very good at English, very good at mathematics, very good at physics, and also very good at chemistry. So like I was basically good at many subjects, but like the only subject I was not good at is, well, actually unfortunately, Chinese. So I am a science major kind of girl. You know, I'm actually better at science major than like liberal arts major, liberal art kind of subjects. So I remember back then in my junior high school, okay, in my junior high school, so I remember back then we have altogether four subjects. Okay, four subjects. Wait, four subjects. Yeah, four subjects in my second grade in junior high school, which is 好像是初二吧，初二是几年级啊？预备班是6年级，然后7年级、8年级，eighth grade. In my eighth grade, so during my eighth grade, what happened is that we have altogether like four major subjects. Okay, so we have like all like different subjects, but somehow there are four major subjects. So the four major subjects are like Chinese, mathematics, and English, and so also physics. So somehow like in China we have this thing which is like for every semester or every year they would have this like same paper exam across the entire neighborhood or entire district. So altogether, for example, inside this district, you have altogether like 10, 12 schools. So the 10, 12 schools, the students of the 10, 12 schools will have to attend the very same exams. Okay, very same exams, which means like every yeah，就是什么区考啊，还是什么会考？对对，就这种上 you're right，什么区考、会考嘛，我们中国有这种东西嘛。When you're in junior high school, so you have those kind of things called 会考 or 区考. Basically means that people, schools, the 10, 12 schools with that within the same like neighborhood, the same district, will have to attend the very same exams. Like every student of the same grade will have to attend the very same exams, right? So somehow out of the four major subjects in our junior high school, I was able to reach full score for the three subjects. Okay, I was able to reach 100 for mathematics, English, and also physics. And I was pretty much a legend back then because it was pretty rare. So there's no way for you to get a full mark in Chinese, right? You guys know because in Chinese you have to write essay, right? You have to write a small essay during the exams. So there's no way you can get full score, right? 这个叫什么来着？语文是不可能考满分的，因为作文你没有可能，就是你基本上是一个写作天才，otherwise there's no way for you to score like 100% in your Chinese exams, right? You guys know about it. But like somehow for me back then, except Chinese, I was able to score 100 for the rest three main subjects. Okay, 我当时数学、英文和物理全部都考了满分。And it was pretty much a legend throughout the entire district. Everyone know there is a girl out there in one school got like full marks three subjects out of the four subjects. Still, still, unfortunately, I was not able to be the number one because my Chinese was so bad. 我还是没有拿第一的原因就是因为语文考太差了。Yeah. Still, I was not able to reach number one simply just because my Chinese was like really bad back then. So somehow, I mean, like some people just do have the talent in something. Okay, I do not have the talent in something. 英文有作文对，但初中的那个英文作文就是可能比较的简单，它不像高中，对吧？初中的英文作文都是那种你稍微写一点点，只要没有语法错误，老师是会给你满分的那一种的。就是初中和高中不一样啊，它不会需要像中文的这个语文里边还要看你的文采啦，看你里边的寓意啦等等，所以就是初中的英文考满分是有可能的，对吧？Yeah, guys, yeah. So somehow like different people are talented in different kind of things. Like for me, I was definitely more talented in science kind of subjects, right? For example, maths, physics, and chemistry, right? And also biology, right? But somehow, like when it comes to liberal, I was definitely bad. I was not so good at Chinese, and definitely not good at politics. We have this kind of subject called political politics or something. 以前小时候还有学那个政治课嘛，对吧？这个是我最差，this is my worst. This is definitely my worst. Okay, and also not so good at geography. 地理也没有很好。Not so good at geography. And also, what's one more? History. Okay, history was not so good as well. Somehow, like when I was back then, when I was studying history, I was not so good at it. But however, when I really grow up, when I really go out and have seen this world, and somehow thanks to social media, like, they try to make those history lessons to be quite interesting. I was able to, know a lot of knowledge about history. So right now, I'm pretty interested in history. Okay, so I was really interested in reading history related books, watching history related dramas, and also when it comes to social media, I would also be interested in just, watching those, history related, like just explaining history or describing history or, somehow just sharing history kind of videos. Yeah, but back then when I was in school, I was basically pretty bad at all those kind of liberal subjects. I was definitely bad at Chinese and politics, right? And also not so good at geography, or like maybe you could also call it bad, and somehow like not so good at history as well. But when it comes to science, okay, when it comes to science, when you're talking about maths, good, extremely good. Okay, and you're talking about chemistry, superb, super good, super good. Okay, I am pretty much best at chemistry. 我这个化学是最好的. So if I just study a bit hard before the exams for chemistry, that I could just easily get a score that if let's take 100 as the 4 mark, I could easily just get above 98 90 95. 就是如果稍微学一下，很轻松就可以达到95分以上。If I do not study, I just do not prepare at all, just go to the exam to attend chemistry, I could easily get over 90. So definitely A. So chemistry, all best. Okay, physics. My physics is not so good as my maths and my chemistry, but still, relatively speaking, pretty good. So, say for example, if you say that I have to study, I don't study at all. I go to an exam, I can get like above 90 for chemistry. Then for my physics, it's like that. If I have to study a bit hard before the exams, then I have to get above 90 for my physics. I do understand, like for people who are talented, just different people are talented in different kind of things. I remember like back then in my school, somehow like when it comes to senior high school, like I could see that my understanding about physics is just not so good as some other boys. I'm definitely good at chemistry, but when it comes to physics, somehow it's relatively speaking harder for me to comprehend, to understand some of the concepts, some of the rules behind the physics. So for other boys, just like my chemistry, right, they just study a little bit, they could just reach score above 95 easily. Like for me, like I had to study really hard to reach the score above 90. Yeah. 但是还是已经很好了, but still that is pretty good, right? So pretty good on that. Biology is pretty good for me back then. But somehow back then, in my years, I remember like we do not need to. So biology back then was not considered to be a main subject back then in Shanghai. 以前生物不算是一个主科，在我小的时候上高中的时候，OK。I remember back then the main subjects for my year back then in senior high school is the Chinese, English, mathematics, chemistry, and also physics. Yeah, so when it comes to the third grade of our senior high school, which is the year before college entrance examination, okay, it's the final year before the college entrance examination. Like for us, it was like relatively easier. Okay, so we only need to pick one subject out of the six. So everyone has to attend exams for Chinese, mathematics, and English. Okay, so these three is a must for everyone. Okay, so apart from the three, so everyone only needs to pick one more extra lessons out of all the different six different lessons. Okay, if you choose liberal arts direction, then you need to pick from geography, politics, and also history. Okay, one of them. Okay, if you choose this track of science, then you pick from chemistry, physics, and biology. Yeah, so back then I picked physics. I should have picked chemistry because my chemistry was the best. But somehow back then in my senior high school, so there was a class, they would gather all the great students, the top students inside one class, and somehow that class was physics major. So I wanted to get into the top class. So that's why like I chose physics. Even though my chemistry was better than my physics, I still chose physics for my third year grade. Yeah. So somehow that was like that. Yeah, I was basically sharing all that just basically to tell you guys that I was more a science major girl, so I was not so good at Chinese. I saw lots of people were asking me questions, right? 我要回去看一下大家的这个问题啊。经常问我小时候爱看书吗？我小的时候还行吧，不能算是特别爱看书，只能说是一般爱看书吧。但现在开始是比较喜欢看书了，Yeah。Someone asked me if I really like to read books when I was little. I was saying that, well, I do read when I was little, but not a lot. Okay, not a lot. Okay, so because like I said, I'm not so good at Chinese, right? So back then, I really also, I mean, like if you want to be good at reading, if you want to really enjoy reading, first of all, you need to have this kind of brain that you must have a very strong ability to imagine, right? The reason why lots of people like reading books who are book nerds are usually because whenever they read, they could imagine lots of things inside their brain. They like this process, they like this journey of exploring everything in their head, like by themselves, right? By themselves. So somehow for me, I was not so able to understand the beauty of the words back then when I was little. So, for example, now when I read all those poems written by those famous poets in the history, I would definitely say they are absolutely beautiful. I could start to taste the beauty of those like Chinese poems, right? For example, there's a Chinese poet that everyone know about, which is Li Bai. He's definitely the most famous and the most wonderful poet, like the Chinese version of Shakespeare, right? So like he's so good at writing so many poems. When I was little, I do not understand the beauty of his poems, but when now, okay, after having seen this world, right, having really experienced so many things and going back and to taste his poems, I discover they are so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. 来，中国的宝宝们互动一波，打一些李白的诗在评论区好吗？大家打一些李白的诗在评论区好吗？我们来试一试啊，能不能把李白的诗给翻译成英文，给到大家。You're very logical in your thinking. I think so. I think I consider myself to be relatively logical when it comes to thinking. So one of the things my friends mentioned about I did not realize, they say that whenever I try to explain something, my subconscious would try to explain something in a way that I would first come up with a conclusion and then I would say first, second, third, something like that. Okay, I would say like first of all, like I noticed that also here during the live stream when I try to elaborate something, I would also say something like first of all, second, third, and as a result, in conclusion, in summary, something like that. Okay, basically like that. So pretty logical. And I also would, usually just try to do some deduction during my elaboration. Like first of all, what's is the thing, right? And if that happens, then what comes next and what comes next, right? So before I remember, someone just came to the live stream and saying that I am a propagandist. Okay, from time to time, it would basically just mean so many people coming to the live streaming, come to my live stream and accusing me to be a propagandist that was paid by our government to do this live stream in here. And I was so sometimes so pissed off because they were so stubborn. I was basically just saying that you could not just judge whether I am a propagandist or not by just coming and see I have an Asian face, a Chinese face, and being here in the live stream, and for sure I'm just a propagandist, right? So there was a guy I still remember called Dan. So he's in here and he was saying that, accusing me that you're a propagandist. I was like, no, I'm not. And he basically just said that, oh, you know what? Everyone who's a propagandist would just do the same thing as you do, just say they're not propagandist. So I did one thing, which is I started to have some like started to explain everything 飞流直下三千分流直下三千打错了哈，你把飞流打成分流了是吗？呀，我跟你说啊，这个很搞笑。这里面有几首诗我是经常会搞错的，“飞流直下三千尺，疑是银河落九天”和“桃花潭水深千尺，不及汪伦送我情”，这些诗我老是搞混，所以经常是“飞流直下三千尺，不及汪伦送我情”，或者“桃花潭水深千尺，疑是银河落九疑是银河落九天”，经常会搞错。 这两个诗因为都有一个千尺嘛，所以经常会搞错。Yeah, ooh, okay. Taste that. Thank you. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, so guys, write some Chinese poems, OK？中国的宝宝们来打一些李白的诗进来哈。现在目前为止都没啥人打那个李白的诗，来打点李白的诗哈。Yeah. That's funny. Although there are narrow-minded people out there, yeah, there's so many narrow-minded people in there. So I was also basically just calling that person called Dan, right? I said, "You're so narrow-minded. You haven't really seen the world." So I started to explain. OK，我还以为真的你不好意思啊，让你失望了哈。但是还是有点像的吧，还是有点像吧。很多人都说嘛，对对，大家可以把这个诗打出来哈，看一下大家能不能猜中我最喜欢的一句诗。李白，我最喜欢的李白的那一句诗是什么？打进了，是一句非常有名、人人都知道的一首诗，但是 somehow 那是我非常喜欢的一句诗。OK，大家可以来试一下，打一下李白的诗进来哈。来看一下，大家来猜一下我最喜欢的李白的一句诗是什么？OK，Yeah, guys, let's take a guess. What is my favorite poem? And 李白诗，OK，Yeah，李白诗，That is so interesting. Okay, yeah, so okay, let's do it, okay. So I will continue with this story. Okay, I was basically just saying that there was a guy, right, called Dan back then, coming, hold on, taking the smoke, what? Okay, so someone called Dan just came to my live stream accusing me that you're a propagandist, that you're just paid by your government to do this live streaming here, something like that. I was saying like, no, that's not true, right? I was not paid by anyone to do a live stream in here. I was just basically doing this live stream here, just out of my own interest, right? So this guy does not believe in that. So, one of the reason why they call me a propagandist is because it's pretty rare for them to see someone with a Chinese face but are able to speak good English and are also doing live stream there. Okay, so that's why they accuse me of it. So that's why I say narrow-minded people 是心胸狭隘的人吗？可以这么说，但是很多时候是指的是见识相对比较浅薄的人，也可以这么讲，是 narrow-minded。OK，心胸狭隘、见识浅薄都是用 narrow-minded 来去讲。Okay, yeah. So somehow I was basically just saying that. So then I started to explain to him. Okay, so the reason why he come up to this conclusion, where I am a propagandist to promote China, who are paid to promote China, is because somehow it was pretty rare for them to see a Chinese face who are able to speak good English and doing live stream out there, right? So that's why I say that. So I try to explain everything in a pretty logical way. I say, first of all, how many Chinese people out there on this earth? Okay, so in China alone, we have 1.4 billion population, but not to mention about the Chinese people currently living in some other countries. If we just look at the 1.4 billion, you guys could listen to me, see if what I say really is logical, it would really make sense. Okay, well, actually, when I explain everything in a very logical way to this person, Dan, eventually he actually changed his mind. He not only followed me, and later on he started to interact with me in a very healthy way. Okay, in a very healthy way, and he believed that I am not a propagandist. Okay, so the thing I first told him is that I said that okay, so China is a country with a lot of population, so we have 1.4 billion population in here, not to mention about the people out there in other countries, okay, the Chinese people living in some other countries. So today, if you're looking at only the 1.4 billion population here in China, so definitely many of the parents out of the 1.4 billion population would be rich enough or whatever to send their kids to abroad to study, and you could verify it by just go to check in the university campus and see how many Chinese face students out there are studying in the university in your country. Okay, so ask them this. I say, okay, so first of all, if you agree with me that there are lots of Chinese students currently are living abroad and currently studying abroad in the university in the US, then you must agree with the fact there are lots of Chinese students or Chinese people who are able to speak good English, right? If they are not able to speak good English, how can they study in those universities out there? And also, there are like two types of people, usually students who are able to study abroad, right? Either like from a rich family, okay, somehow no matter they are good or bad, their family have enough money to send them abroad to study in the universities there, or like extremely smart students, okay, top students who are able to get extremely high score in the SAS exam, SAT exams, or they somehow are extremely talented in one area, so that's why they got admitted to the top schools in the US or in the UK, whatever those like English speaking countries, right? So for those kind of students, for sure they're able to speak very good English. If they are not good at speaking English, attending English exams, there's no way they could be admitted to the top universities, those Ivy League school universities in the US, right? So if you agree with all that, then you must agree. You must agree with the conclusion that there are lots of Chinese people, Chinese students at least, who are able to speak very good English. And out of the so many good English speaking Chinese students, some of them would decide to stay in the US to keep on working. Some people would decide to go back to China to explore job opportunities back in the country, right? And then for sure, out of the so many people, there must be some people who just feel like they want to do some live stream in here, right? To chat in here and to talk to people. So it shouldn't be something strange. It should be something rare to see a Chinese face who are able to speak pretty good English, right? This is not something rare. This is something pretty common, right? So I explain everything in a very logical way. I consider it to be quite logical, right? It all makes sense. Step one, there's a lot of population. If you're only looking at a country with only a few million people, then, well, yeah, well, there's only a few million people, right? So out of the million people, well, even though some parents would want to send their children abroad to study, well, the population would still be a lot less, right? So you're looking at a country with like so many population, right? If you were just talking about only 2% of the people in here, wanted to study abroad, that's still a lot of people, right? Not to mention, like, there's definitely more than 2% out of the entire population who would want to study abroad, who would want to have some overseas kind of education, background education experience, right? And also before, back then in my time, somehow overseas degree was like really popular thing, right? For you, for some companies, they would actually prefer to hire students with overseas degree, right? So somehow back then was pretty much a trend. Lots of people just want to pursue an overseas degree out there in some other countries, usually the US. So, well, if you come, so you agree that China has a big population base. You agree a certain proportion of the population would want to study abroad. Then you would also agree that these people, no matter they know English or not, after they study abroad, they for sure will have to learn how to speak English, right? Otherwise, how are they gonna just attend the 4 years of education without knowing Chinese? So by that, you also agree with the fact that there are lots of Chinese people who are able to speak good English, right? So, and out of this many Chinese students or Chinese people who are able to speak good English, well, if only just 2% of them wanted to do a live stream in English in the live stream room, then still quite many, okay, quite many. Especially what happened, I also explained to him why I started this live stream, right? In January, what happened is TikTok refugee came to Red Note because, in the US, somehow like there was some law that's coming out that said they will want to ban TikTok. And there are lots of people coming to the Red Note. I noticed that there are so many foreigners in here. And back then, my judgment on that thing is that I thought this thing will not last long. That the fact that lots of foreigners would come to the Red Note platform only for a short period of time, maybe they would want to do some segregation so that Chinese and foreigners could not just talk to each other after a while, something like that. I thought this is the thing that would happen. So that's why I grabbed this opportunity to just start a live stream so that I could interact with more foreign friends from all over the world. So that's why I started a live stream. Okay. So everything just makes perfect sense. So that's why, like, after I explained everything, this Dan said, like, okay, you're something different. Okay. I definitely believe in you. And he followed me. And for the next following days, he was also in my live stream, trying to interact with me. So that was yeah, that was something. Yeah.好的，谢谢 Little Earth 提醒我哈。I was basically saying that just try to say that I have this kind of habit of making some deductions, right? First, second, third, when it comes to explain everything. And so that's why, like, when Christy Lidosi the other day messaged me separately asking me, like, hey, could you please share your secret behind how you're able to be so eloquent and has so many to share and so many things to talk about? What's the secret behind that? I basically said that you have to train yourself in a way to speak everything, to share everything in a very logical way. So if you're able to share everything, to first of all just come up with a conclusion, first of all just state your opinion, right? So my opinion is that I consider myself to be a very logical person, and then comes up with like first, second, third, and then conclusion. So that's the way we do it. 今天没有不说 like 挑战吗？Joke，你放过我吧，好吗？放过我吧，我们不要每天都这个挑战，好吗？这个太痛苦了。这样就是这样子，除非有人在评论区里面说我讲英文讲太快了，我们就稍微来一下这个挑战。如果没有没有人这么抱怨的话，我们就不要了，好不好？这个一来我就没办法好好讲话了。OK。Joe Quacker. Okay, so there are so many comments. Before I saw lots of people are writing the Chinese poems in here. OK，我们来看一下哈，有很多人都打了很多李白的诗，我们来读一些诗哈，来看一下，看一下，有一些很好诗。我也物理，您句太物理，你这个物理比我高级多了，我是高中物理，OK，我是高中物理。Yeah，let's see，床前明月光，君不见黄河之水天上来，奔流到海不复回。Oh my God，this is so beautiful. This so beautiful. Yeah, 君不见黄河之水天上来，奔流到海不复回。So you guys see, like these poems are so beautiful, but when I was little, I do not see the beauty of those poems. Okay, so this poem basically says that you do not see the water comes from the sky. Okay, the river of Yangtze, the water in Yangtze River comes from the sky and comes all the way to the ocean without turning back. Something like that. It was so beautiful. Yeah, 还有再来读一下哈，来再来读一些诗哈。啊，天生我材必有用，千金散尽还复来，这是我最喜欢的。Yeah, you are right about it. Power，确实，这确实就是我最喜欢的这个诗。天生我材必有用，这个真的是哈。So 天生我材必有用 is a very very kind of powerful, powerful kind of a poem. So somehow this is like very related to manifestation. It basically just says that I was born in this world for a purpose. So if you translate 天生我材必有用 into English, it basically means that I was born to this world for a purpose. So I'm definitely useful. I was definitely important to this world. The fact that I was born, that I'm definitely important in this world, something like that. Okay, like very beautiful. 天生我材必有用。OK，好，看看还有啥诗哈？Yeah，还有啥诗？Yeah，床前明月光，疑是地上霜。对，这个是这样的，《床前明月光》这首诗，大家可以尝试一下用自己的家乡语言来去读诗，你就会发现说，不同的家乡语言读出来的诗的感觉是不一样的。It's basically asking all the Chinese friends to try one thing, which is use their local dialects to read poems. That everyone just use your local dialects to read 床前明月光, 疑是地上霜, 静夜思, okay? You will discover it was so funny, okay? So I remember back then when I was studying in London, okay? In London, and there were a bunch of Chinese students. So the other day we were actually having lunch or dinner together, and everyone was saying like, let's do one thing. Let us just use our our own local dialect to read this poem, and we discovered that the one dialect that sounds like best to read the poems in Chinese is actually Cantonese. 广东话读唐诗图诗太好听了 Guys, have a try, okay? So I use it in Shanghainese, okay? I read it in Shanghainese, was pretty okay, okay? 上机明月光，疑是地上霜，举头望明月，低头思故乡。That is Shanghainese, okay? That is Shanghainese. It's pretty okay. It's nothing, right? But when it's Cantonese, okay? 床前明月光，疑是地上霜。举头怎么讲？是鬼吗？鬼头望明月，低头思故乡。It was like so much better. Okay, my Cantonese is not so good. Okay, as a disclaimer, I could speak Cantonese. It's just that my Cantonese is not so good. Okay, yeah, but I really tried really hard. But it sounds just so much better than any other dialects. Okay, 这个广东话念唐诗真的是非常好听，OK，我广东话讲的不标准哈，但真的非常好听。And it was also so funny that we also have a friend from Hunan, OK, so she used Hunan local dialect to read this poem. And just so you know, like the biggest, the greatest, one of the greatest leader here in Chinese history is Chairman Mao, right? Everyone know about Chairman Mao, right? So somehow one of my classmates used Hunan Hua, okay, Hunan dialect, the very same dialect that Chairman Mao used to read poem, and she said the 床前明月光，疑是地上霜. I forgot. Okay, I do not know 湖南话. Somehow, like when she read the poem, it was like very much just like Chairman Mao saying that 中华人民共和国成立了. It was so funny. Like every sentence, she was basically, reciting use Hunan dialect. It was like Chairman Mao announcing People's Republic of China was established. It was like so funny. 他当时用湖南话背《静夜思》，床前明月光，疑是地上霜，you know，就好像是听到这个毛主席在那边讲"中华人民共和国终于成立了"，很搞笑，and everyone was basically laughing when she's reciting the poem in Hunan local dialect. It was pretty funny. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah. 扬子 River 黄河英文是啥？扬子 River 是长江，对对对对。黄河是什么？黄河英文是什么？Yellow River 黄河是什么？忘了。呀，扬子 River 对对对呀。这帮你踢导弹的人啊，对对对，是的，但是我没有搞清楚要怎么样去这个设置这个加一个 moderator，要可以就是我叫什么来着？对，一个就是这个叫000的人，还有另外一个哥们儿，就反正就这两个人特别的烦啊，没事儿，就是 Yellow River 是吗？哦，就是 Yellow River 是吗？OK，好的，行，谢谢。啊，对，还有一个就是这个 Anita Membo，对，一说到他就开始烦了，对，就这俩哥们儿，这俩哥们儿特别烦。OK，好了，哎，我把你禁言了，你怎么啊？不好意思，我大概刚才禁错人了。哎，不对啊，我把这个人禁言了，为什么他还是能讲话？算把他踢出去吧。OK，好了。呀，他这个怎么禁言了还能讲话呢？好奇怪啊。OK，也就是 Yellow River 是吗？OK。Okay, then it's just Yellow River. Okay, for those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. Okay, don't forget follow me. Don't forget to follow me. Okay. So for those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. And 举报好，谢谢你啊！每次看到就狂举报，大家就狂举报，看到这种傻逼就狂举报就好了。OK，好，然后我已经把他踢出房间了。我觉得这种傻逼真的是太傻逼了，真的是。And for those of you who haven't joined our followers group, there's a follower group in here. Okay. 有一个 followers group in here, and guys, definitely join this follower group. Okay, this is our family. Okay, this is our family. Have you joined it? If you haven't, do it. Why can't you speak Cantonese? Oh, you're asking Olivia, not me, right? You're asking Olivia, not me. Okay, yeah, let me see. Yeah, 我这个叫什么？刚才在读这个广东话的时候没有看评论。I was not reading comments when I was saying everything in Cantonese. Pick them. 特别棒，OK，不喝咖啡，你是说我读唐诗用广东话读唐诗特别棒吗？是吗？是说我读广东话特别棒吗？还是说什么特别棒？Yeah, yes, by total number of speakers in Mandarin and Chinese. 今天没啊，看看。Be yourself. I wish I knew more about the Chinese poets. Yeah, so JB, now when you start to learn Chinese a bit more, and maybe that's the moment you start to learn some of the poems in here. So if you read the poems in the local language, you will notice how beautiful they are. For example, when it comes to English, I really like the poems by Tiger 和 Tiger 泰戈尔的诗《飞鸟集》，我非常喜欢他的这个诗集。I really like Tiger 泰戈尔的诗，我来读一首哈。哦，这个诗太美了，泰戈尔的诗真的是非常美，尤其是 especially when it comes to love poems. OK, I'm gonna read one by 泰戈尔的诗。OK，我来泰戈尔的诗泰戈尔的诗集。我甚至当时专门买了这个泰戈是世界上，这个我当时就是印象特别深，世界上最遥远的距离啊，英文版。Yeah. Okay, let's. I'm actually asking DeepSeek to help me find this poem so that I can read this. 不喜欢人家就划走就行，就是啊，划走就行了。对的，有些人就是没事做在这里丢人现眼啊。是说你的生活态度很棒，不过读广东话也很棒。好，谢谢不喝咖啡。好的。其实我知道我自己的广东话很烂，所以我当时看到那个我就很开心。Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna read a poem by 泰戈尔。泰戈尔英文是什么？by it's called Stray Birds. This is from Stray Birds. Yeah. 哎不对，他是泰戈尔的诗集。哦，这首诗并非直接出自泰戈尔的作品，而是后人创作并误传为泰戈尔所写的。Oh, okay, interesting. But somehow this is a beautiful poem. I will read it. Tagore. Okay, thank you, Jane. Yeah. Okay, anyhow, like okay, 我以为这首诗是泰戈尔的，它这首诗不是。I thought this poem is by Tagore, but somehow it is not. But still, it is a very, very beautiful poem. I'm gonna read it. Okay, the farthest distance in the world is not between life and death, but when I stand in front of you, yet you don't know that I love you. The farthest distance in the world is not when I stand in front of you, yet you can see my love, but when undoubtedly knowing the love from both, yet cannot be together. The farthest distance in the world is not being apart while being in love, but when plainly cannot resist the yearning, yet pretending you have never been in my heart. The farthest distance in the world is not when plainly cannot resist the yearning, but using one's indifferent heart to dig an uncrossable river for the one who loves you. How beautiful is that? Okay, how beautiful is that? Okay, 我们来用 What are you reading？再读一首诗哈。我本来以为这首诗 No Talk，What are you reading？我本来以为这首诗是泰戈尔的诗，发现不是的。OK，I just used English American accent. I'll try to use British accent to read it. OK，我用英式英文来读读看。OK，I'll try to use British accent to read it. OK，so right now I told people that when I was little, when I was small, I actually learned British accent. So somehow now I use American accent and was not so good at British accent as before, but I will try. Okay, I will try to use British accent to read this poem. Somehow, when a poem is read in British accent, it somehow sounds just better. Okay, yeah. The farthest distance in the world is not between life and death, but when I stand in front of you, yet you don't know that I love you. The farthest distance in the world is not when I stand in front of you, yet you can't see my love, but when undoubtedly knowing the love from both, yet cannot be together. The farthest distance in the world is not being apart while being in love, but when plainly cannot resist the yearning, yet pretending you have never been in my heart. The farthest distance in the world is not when plainly cannot resist the yearning, but using one's indifferent heart to dig an uncrossable river for the one who loves you. Okay, British accent. Okay. 这首诗用中文读也很好听 guys. This one is really good to read in Chinese as well. Yeah, I'm gonna ask 中文版，中文版，来我们来看一下中文版哈，中文版也非常好 Yeah. Shashi isn't that beautiful. This is such a beautiful poem. Okay, I'm gonna use this use Chinese to read it. Okay，我用中文来读一遍哈。中文的宝宝们来听一下，这首诗真的非常的美。OK，他说，好，用中文可以更有情感一点哈。世界上最遥远的距离，不是生与死，而是我站在你面前，你却不知道我爱你。世界上最遥远的距离，不是我就站在你面前，你却不知道我爱你，而是明明知道彼此相爱，却不能在一起。世界上最遥远的距离，不是明明知道彼此相爱，却不能在一起，而是明明无法抵挡这股思念，却还得故意装作丝毫没把你放在心里。世界上最遥远的距离，不是明明无法抵挡这股思念，却还得故意装作丝毫没把你放在心里，而是用自己冷漠的心，对爱你的人掘出了一条无法跨越的鸿沟沟渠。OK， isn't it beautiful? Okay, no matter it's in English, American accent, or in British accent or Chinese, it's just so beautiful, right, my friend? Isn't beautiful? But let's do some real Tagore's poem, okay? 我们来找一首真正的泰戈尔诗哈呀，找一首泰戈尔 Tagore 泰戈尔的最有代表性的诗，最有代表性的诗。先来看一下英文版哈呀。中文的最棒。OK， 我们来看一下泰戈尔真正的诗。Let's find a really, really good Tagore's OK， 这个真的太棒了。这个的中文翻译是冰心翻的，中文翻译是冰心。And guys, please follow me if you haven't done so. Okay. So this is by Tagore. Okay, this is from Tagore's poem. This one is real Tagore's poem. It's also so beautiful. Okay， 这个也真的是非常非常的美哈。Okay, first of again, we're gonna do it in American accent and also British accent and also then the Chinese version. Okay, okay, the 3-1. So first of all, American accent, English, and also second Chinese accent. Sorry, not Chinese accent, British accent, and English poem, and then by Tagore, and also 最后是一遍是中文的泰戈尔的诗哈。 translated by Bingxing, which is also a very, very famous writer here in China. Okay. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into the heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. 好了，读这首诗英文版的怎么样？读的可以吗 Yeah, how do you guys feel it? How do you guys feel it? It is more like kind of how do you say 比较激情澎湃 Yeah, wow, Tiger, we grew up reciting this. Really, Shashi? So I was basically just saying that I really like him. Okay, I really like him. He's I even bought before when I was younger. I even bought an entire book of his poems because I really like his poems. I think he's Indian, right? Shashi, he's in Indian, but somehow his poems are so beautiful, so beautiful. Okay, yeah. How do you guys feel about me reading this poem? Okay, so I just did it in American accent. Okay, I will read it in British accent again. Okay, yeah, guys, follow me please if you haven't done so. Okay, and also for those of you in here who haven't joined our follows club, this is our follows club. This is our family. Okay, join our family, and guys, everyone, join me in here. And tap the screen to sending likes. Tap the screen in sending likes. 2046，如果你说我脸大的话，那你真是没见过我真人。怎么讲呢？我的脸绝对属于小的，我的脸绝对属于小的。OK，那个叫什么来？之前有另外一个朋友也是英文主播，然后他进来以后，他之前我们只是网上看嘛，见到我真人的时候，他对我的第一句赞叹就是哇，你的脸好小啊。Yeah, somehow maybe it's because on the screen that's why like you only see my face, you would see this face is so big, right? Somehow when in reality you would notice I actually have a pretty small face, okay? Yeah, 好，我们用那个 British accent 来读一遍哈。Let's use British accent to read it, okay? Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into the heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. Okay. 就是英式英文的那个调调好像还没有出来。Like my British accents, the kind of tone of British accent, I feel like I'm using pronunciation, British pronunciation, but the kind of tone was still pretty American. Yeah, but I have to practice a bit more one day so that I can come back with you guys with a more like British way of reading it. Yeah, okay. 以前那个抖森还读过一首小黄诗，很性感，很性感的小黄诗。OK，yeah。I remember Tom Hiddleston actually read another poem that was a little bit sexy, a little bit sex related. We can also read that. Okay, that is a pretty interesting poem as well. Okay, that is a pretty interesting poem. OK，现在用中文来读一遍哈。它就是刚才读的一些英文版的，大家如果还记得的话，我们来看一下中文版的这个诗哈。中文版的诗翻译的很好，it was translated by 冰心，是冰心的这个叫什么来着翻译的。OK，在那里心是无畏的，头也抬得高昂，在那里知识是自由的，在那里世界还没有被狭小的家国的墙隔成片段，在那里话是从真理的深处说出，在那里不懈的努力向着完美生命，在那里理智的清泉没有沉没在积习的荒漠之中，在那里心灵是受你的指引，走向那不断放宽的思想与行为，进入那自由的天国。我的父啊，让我的国家觉醒吧。Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my God. This Chinese translation is so beautiful as well. You know, one of the key problems when it comes to translating poems is when the poem is so beautiful in its original language, like somehow when you translate it into another language, you just lost the kind of flavor in it, right? But for this one, no matter it's in the English version or in the Chinese version, both of them are just so, so, so beautiful. Don't you guys feel it? Yeah, do you guys agree with it? Agree to type one. Okay, type one if you think the poems I just read is like so beautiful. 我想要你这个发，我想要一个你头发这种啥意思啊？H， 我想要你这个发，我想要一个你头发这种什么东西啊？没看懂你这个话，写的有点点狗屁不通啊。Yeah. Okay, let's also try something fun. Okay, try something fun, which is Tom Hiddleston. Okay, Tom Hiddleston actually also once read a 读过一首小黄诗，让他我们来读首小黄诗哈，一首小黄诗，小黄诗诗原文 something that he or she something like that. Yeah. Does anyone want me to read this little sexy poem? Yeah. Well, actually, it's erotic poem. Yeah, a little bit erotic poem. Yeah, yeah. No, 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 not this one. 啊，我来找一下，好像他那首小黄诗在哪里啊？有点找不到了。那个 a little bit erotic poem. Yeah. She said something like yeah, something she said. Tom Hiddleston and he said something like that. Oh, let's do this. Let me search for it. 我们来点好玩的哈，读点小黄诗。Tom Hiddleston and something like she said, he said, she said, he said. There's a poem. Okay, he said poem. Okay, I'm actually googling it. Okay, I'm actually googling it. May I feel, said he. Yeah, yeah, this one. Okay, this one is really. 我想要你这个发型稍微短一点的哈，可以啊，没问题啊，这个很容易的，用卷发棒卷卷就卷出来了，超简单的啊。Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe let's listen to Tom Hiddleston. Well, to read it first because this one is okay. So his original version is like so good. He has this kind of very sexy voice when he read it, like definitely way better than me. Okay, may I feel? This poem is called "May I Feel" setting. Okay, may I feel setting. Let me see if I can find it. That Tom Hiddleston version. Wait, is this Tom Hiddleston's version?
May I feel, said he, by E. E. Cummings. May I feel, said he. I'll squeal, said she. Just once, said he. It's fun, said she. May I touch, said he. How much, said she. A lot, said he. Why not, said she. Let's go, said he. Not too far, said she. What's too far, said he. Where you are, said she. May I stay, said he. Which way, said she. Like this, said he. If you kiss, said she. May I move, said he. Is it love, said she. If you're willing, said he. But you're killing, said she. But it's life, said he. But your wife, said she. Now, said he. Ow, said she. Tip-top, said he. Don't stop, said she. Oh, no, said he. Go slow, said she. Come, said he. Said she. You're divine, said he. You are mine, said she.
That's a little erotic poem read by Tom Hiddleston. How do you guys feel? You can tell I'm liking it. Yes, I do like it. Yeah, it's like so sexy, but at the same time, it's just I don't know, it just feels so good. Yeah, yeah. 这什么诗啊？这个叫做 May I Feel Said In Said He。Christy Little C 找那个抖森，知道是谁吗？抖森 Tom Hiddleston 抖森版的哦，太性感了，It's too sexy，挺好听的，就是手机公放有一点刺耳的声音，大家自己搜一下。OK，大家自己 said he it's May I Feel said he. Yeah, it's a little bit like 50 Shades of Grey, that kind of poem. Yeah. 50 Shades of Grey in Nitrix room. Yeah, this is the 50 Shades of Grey kind of poem. Yeah，这个有这个，因为是老版本的 iPhone 嘛，我新版本的 iPhone 在16现在在直播，所以不能用。这是13 mini，所以它那个声音的音响效果还不是太好。But you guys have heard this poem, right? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's yeah. May I feel, said he. 而且一定要听抖森版本。You guys must listen to Tom Hiddleston's version. Okay, Tom Hiddleston's version, because that version is oh my god, so sexy. Okay, so sexy. I feel like oh my god, I'm like the first time I hear about this poem. I'm pretty sure if this poem is read by others, just doesn't give you the kind of feeling as Tom Hiddleston. Yeah. So, well, I have to say one thing. Like, if you look at the face of those like British actors, like Tom Hiddleston and also 卷福是 Benedict Cumberbatch, right? So if you look at them, the two of them, right? So if you look at the face alone, as a matter of fact, in my opinion, 抖森 Matthew said he, yeah, yeah, 对的，Christy，你可以看一下他那个里面写的具体的词啊，很色的，非常色，非常色色的。而且还有一些按照现在的这个当下的 moral standards 道德标准来讲，他们还在搞婚外情，你知道吗？在搞婚外情，但是这首诗真的很棒，尤其是用抖森这种，哎呦，非常沉稳的这个声音去缓缓的把这个首小黄诗读出来，哦，真的是太赞了。我们来看一下，如果这首诗你要是用那个中文来去讲的话，那简直了。今天的 topic 是 Nytrix 为你读诗，对不对？等一下等差不多到9点了以后，我们再开始讲那个五行哈。答应大家说五行了，但是聊嗨了，今天都忘记聊五行了。对，I like 卷福 so much. Oh yes, me too, 桃子。There was a moment I'm so into Benedict Cumberbatch, but as a matter of fact, if you look at the face of Benedict Cumberbatch and also Tom Hiddleston, if you look at the face, you will notice one thing. I'm not so sure if you guys agree with it. They are not the typical kind of good-looking kind of actors. 如果你光看脸 if you only look at the face, their face, the kind of the face is not like the typical kind of good looking. They're not like, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio when he was little, okay, when he was younger, right? He was like pretty good looking, right? And also definitely not like this guy who played the role of Superman. 这个 Superman 的这个 this guy what's his name? The face is also pretty good looking, right? Also, some many other like actors who has pretty good looking face, right? When it comes to the face alone. So for like Tom Hiddleston and also Benedict Cumberbatch, their face are not like typically like good looking, especially when it comes to well, Tom Hiddleston when it comes to the face is like a little bit better looking than Benedict Cumberbatch. 我觉得抖森的脸多少比卷福要好看一点，是吧？One of my American friends actually told me that he thinks Benedict Cumberbatch's face looks like an alien. 我一个美国的朋友跟我讲说，他说他觉得卷福的脸看着像个外星人。Yeah, but somehow like one thing that is commonly commonly seen in those British actors is that it doesn't really matter about their face. They just have this kind of a charisma. Oh my god, that just makes you feel they're so sexy. 就他们的这个气质啊，简直了。The kind of charisma they have is just so unique that even though it doesn't really matter about this face, somehow you just feel like they're so charming and they are so charismatic and they just so sexy. Do you guys agree with that? Do you guys agree with if you look at Cumberbatch, Benedict Cumberbatch and also Tom Hiddleston, like you just feel like they're so sexy. Do you guys agree with that? 有没有中国？我基本上就是用charisma 来说，要看一下这个具体的场合。反正我刚才就说的这个 charisma，对，气质，对，大家认同吗？大家认同吗？这个，就其实他们俩的脸长得很一般，没有特别好看，但是就是这个气质一站出来，站在那边一说话，哇，一表现那个气质绝了，就是特别有魅力，like definitely super charming for these two people, right? And also Tom Hiddleston, and also they have this kind of voice. How can we not agree the way you spin it? Yeah, teacher Quinn. Yeah. So somehow, and also they have this super sexy voice. Okay, for all the ladies, do you guys agree that if do girls agree that if a guy has a very sexy voice, that would definitely add some extra bonus to this person, add extra points. 就大家这个女生朋友们，大家是不是 sisters? Okay, all my sisters in here, do you guys agree if you meet a guy who has those very deep, kind of very good like voice, somehow you just feel like this person is 还有小雀斑 Eddie Redmayne，这个男的也很有味道，他的声音没有那么好听。As a matter of his voice, so for Eddie Redmayne, so he is super good at acting. I have to say, right? I remember back then he acted in Danish Girl. How many of you have watched this movie Danish Girl? 有没有看过那个丹麦女孩？ Yeah, so he played the role of himself becoming a transgender person. Yeah, so okay, I feel like 小雀斑 like Eddie right? Eddie Redmayne. So for him, like his voice is not like Tom Hiddleston and Benedict Cumberbatch, right? They have a voice that is so charming and so deep, right? So do you girls agree? Okay, yeah, Danish Girl is a good movie, right? I watched it in Hong Kong, so I watched the entire version, 无删减版的, okay? Yeah, so do girls sisters, do you guys agree? Do you girls agree that if a guy has a voice that is so deep, somehow you just feel like this person is extra sexy? Like maybe he has some places that is not so perfect, but because of his extra sexy voice, you just want to fall in love with him. Do you guys with him? Or like, oh, I back then when I was young, I remember I have dated this guy. Okay, there was one guy who's pretty tall, pretty good looking, and the moment he starts to talk, oh my goodness, the moment he started to talk, so he has this kind of voice that is so high key, with such a high key, and also somehow like almost like a ladylike kind of voice. I immediately lost interest in him. Yeah, 我对声音还是多少有一些要求的。Well, to be honest, as a matter of fact, my husband do not have a very good voice. 我老公的声音没有特别好听，就是那种正常的声音，like okay kind of voice, okay? Yeah, but like for people who has like really good voice, well, these are definitely an extra bonus, extra bonus. Like if I date a guy who has a good deep kind of voice. So that's why like the reason why I feel like why I'm so fond of Tom Hiddleston and also so fond of Benedict Cumberbatch, one of the key reason is because they actually have a very good voice. Yeah. 声音是加分项，对吧？No talk 你也认同。So some people said I have good voice as well. And it's also interesting. Do you guys know? I'm pretty sure many people know that how other people hear your voice is different from how you hear your own voice. So somehow, like when you talk, when you hear your own voice, the kind of voice you hear is different from how other people hear you talk and hear your voice. Yeah. So one thing you could do is by record your talking and also replay it and hear your voice. The kind of voice you hear will be quite different from the kind of voice you hear right now when you talk. Yeah, that is pretty funny. And also, there was a very funny story. So back then, when I was in my senior high school, I was the one who was responsible for. Well, what if I have quarrel with a good voice man? Yeah. So we were like, yeah. And he's like, no, babe, don't say it. Don't do it. You're wrong. You need to apologize. You're like, yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry. Yeah, like that. Yeah. 有点小情景剧啊。Yeah. Who can win. So the moment he starts to talk, like you immediately lose because you somehow got obsessed with the beautiful voice he has, right? No talk. Yeah, that is so funny. Yeah, so also like some people said that I have a pretty good voice, right? Especially when I, just say something very serious. And back then in my senior high school, I was responsible for playing the listening practice tapes, right? And after the practice, like everyone listen and start to do this filling the blanks, right? And after do that, I have to tell everyone what's the right answer. And I would be like, 啊，现在开始公布答案了。Number one, A. Number two, B. Number three, C. Something like that, okay? And somehow they just said that, oh, okay. Ah, who's this teacher who's playing this tape every noon? Ah, she must be so beautiful and so charming, and she has such a beautiful voice, something like that. And later on, I remember it's so funny that later on I just told people it was me. I could finally stop doing it. Someone else would do it instead of me. They were like, "What? No, it's you? Oh my God, I thought it was some beautiful teacher that's doing it." Like every noon when listening to this, I was actually, so some voice was basically saying that I was actually so looking forward to this noon English practice, English practice, listening practice, because like this teacher had this such a beautiful voice, and every day I was like so enjoying it. And I was even imagining how beautiful this teacher was. I never realized it was just you doing it. Yeah, something like that. It was so funny back then. I was doing that. Yeah. So like when I don't know, they just say that I just say that that's called 换面，对的，他们就说换面了。那时候说 number one A, number two B, number three C, number four A, something like that. They were like, oh my God. Oh, this is such a beautiful teacher, has a beautiful voice. And later on, they discovered that, oh, it's you? Oh my God, I'm so disappointed. 幻灭了。对的，反正这个还是一个挺搞笑，was pretty funny story. I was pretty funny story. 不是说的快就好，没必要那么快。哎呀，我跟你说啊，这个什么锦夜路、刘亦菲，就是很难的，你知道吗？就是你平常正常说话的语速就是这样，不是说故意去说快的，你知道吗？我就是正常说话语速是这样，然后我在直播间的时候，我会刻意的放慢语速，真的会刻意放慢语速，但有些时候一旦说嗨了以后，可能就会恢复到正常的语速了。我绝对绝对不是刻意想要把话说的很，把英文说的很快，就是我平常正常说话语速就是这样的。因为你看一下，你比如说像我现在用中文说话，如果我中文正常说话的这个语速就是比较快的，就是我刚才的英文语速基本上就和我现在的中文语速是一样的，并没有说特别加快，对吧？所以有点难的。It's actually pretty hard to speak slowly if you are used to speak at a certain speed. Like for you, you have to really change the speed to speak more slowly. It was not easy. 就好像如果你说中文，你正常的语速是这么说的，突然间有一天跟你讲说你必须要把这个语速降低一些，其实还是有难度的。It was not that easy. 语速慢点，实力不允许啊。Tony, you're so funny. Okay. Hi, my friend from Houston. Hot Cheeto. You like Cheeto? You like Cheeto? 啊，有一个喜欢那个奇多，哎，奇多是Cheeto 是中文翻译是奇多吗？我有点忘了。When I was little, I really liked Cheeto. Yeah. But right now, I just like Lay's, the original flavor of Lay's. Yeah. Yeah. And guys, follow me, please, if you haven't done so. Okay. Follow me, please, if you haven't done so. Okay. 还没有关注的可以关注一下我。What flavor do you like? Cheeto. Which flavor do you like? Yeah. And for those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. And for those of you who are new in here, here is our little family group. Okay. Have you joined our little family group? If you haven't done so, please join it. Okay, it's almost 9啊，马上就是9点了，我们开始要打榜了。同志们做好一点准备啊，我们可以先那个。You have something on your face? Really? Nothing. My face is pretty clean. What's on my face? Maybe it's on your screen. Okay, maybe you should just wipe your screen. So that's why you see something on my face. Yeah, a lot of beauty. Oh my god! 现在来土味情话 session 了吗？Oh my god! Oh my god. Yeah, so Hot Cheeto just started another new session. In Chinese, we call it 土味情话。大家来一点土味情话好不好？在 comments. Okay, so Hot Cheeto just said something which is you have something on your face. And later on, he said a lot of beauty, you know. So we have lots of things like that too here in Chinese. Okay, 我们来一下土味情话 session 好吗？ Let's start a session like that. What do you guys call it? What do you guys call it? Is it called like pickup lines or something like that? Pickup lines? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, no matter it's Chinese version or English version, let's do more of that. Okay, so I can do it. I can do one thing. Um, okay, look at my eyes. Do you think my eyes are beautiful? Do you think my eyes are beautiful? Like my eyes are beautiful. Do you know why my eyes are beautiful? Do you know why my eyes are beautiful? My eyes are beautiful because I have you in my eyes. Oh, that is one line, okay? That is one line. So guys, just come up with many lines like that in the comment, okay? 我们现在开始土味情话场了哈，大家可以在群里面写一些土味情话。Oh, okay. So hot Cheeto, that is called 土味情话 in Chinese, okay? So we have a specific calling. Are you tired? I'm not tired. I'm not tired. After, okay. You're not really telling me, asking me, are you tired, right? You're starting another one. Okay, I'm so curious to see what's the answer after. Are you tired? 土味情话. Tired. I'm not tired. Yes, what? I'm waiting for your next sentence, your next line. What is your next line? Because you were running all day on my mind. Oh my god, that is a good one. That is a good one. 明天播不完，明天有可能不播。Fiona，谢谢你啊，明天谢谢你这么持续性的关注。So she's asking, so Cheeto, he's asking like if I am tired. He said, "Are you tired?" I said, "No, I'm not tired." He said, "Because you were running in my mind all the day." 这个叫什么？中文也可以。Yeah，咫尺卷尺，I love you very much 这个可以，这个也可以哈，大家都是人才。他说那个如果用中文翻译就是说你累不累啊？你累不累啊？我靠，你累不累？你现在在我的脑海里已经跑来跑去跑了很久了，就那个土味情话。Oh, I like it, I like it. Okay, oh my god, do you guys know any more? 咫尺卷尺，I love you very much. That is also pretty good. Yeah. Oh my god, this is so funny. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay. Yeah, guys, for those of you who are new in here who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me, okay? 今天好像是语言场嘛，本来想讲那个五行八卦的，结果都开始讲语言场了，开始讲语言场，又是读诗，又是土味情话的。Okay, this is fun. This is fun. I like it. I like it. Okay. So, guys, don't forget to follow me. You have done so. And also, don't forget to tap the screen to send in likes. Okay. So, this is our tradition. This is our tradition. If you come to this live stream, you need to do one thing, which is to keep on, just have this habit and keep on tapping the screen to send in likes. Yeah. With your eyes staring at me, I don't need the sunlight. Oh, James, that is another one. Yeah, with your eyes staring at me, I don't need the sunlight. If beauty were a crime, you deserve life in prison. Oh, okay. 太棒了，太赞了。Oh, okay. So another one. If beauty were a crime, you deserve life in prison. 如果美丽是一种罪，那你一辈子都应该关在监狱里。OK，这个土味情话太好了。Yeah，直播语言教学没有，就是闲聊，就跟大家闲聊。OK，303，但是有很多人进来说学英文非常好，所以就进来了。OK，你有关注我吗？大家记得关注一下哈，没有关注我记得关注一下。Yeah, top of the hour. Let's show our appreciation. Tap follow tickets. Yes, yes. Okay, guys, time to tap the screen to send in likes. It's top of the hour. Okay, that's called top of the hour. Okay, top of the hour, guys. Follow me, please, and send yellow tickets. And also show your support by tapping the screen to send in likes. And also follow me if you haven't done so. Okay, follow me if you haven't done so. Yeah. 今天好像榜有点难打哈，都没上榜呢。Yeah, maybe it's because almost Dragon Boat Festival, so that's why like so many people maybe are taking a rest and also doing live stream as well. The competition is more fierce than usual. That's why like it will become a lot harder today. Okay, yeah. 看看啊，看你这么开朗的笑容就关注了吧，来赶紧关注啊，赶紧关注，还有谁没关注的？Yeah, did it hurt when you fell off from heaven? Ah, did it hurt when you fell? Oh, I'm starting to guess what's the next line behind that. Did it hurt when you fell off the heaven? Yeah, I'm late tonight. What I have I missed about the elements? Desma, we haven't really started. Okay, we are waiting for you. We're waiting for you. So since you are in here now, now it's 9. So this is now the moment. You're the angel. Now is the time we can start talking about the 5 elements. Okay, we can start talk about the 5 elements. Yeah, since Desma is in here, okay, we can start talking about Desma. Desma, you didn't miss anything because for the past 1 hour and a half, we were basically reading poems and talking about those cheesy pickup lines. So basically, nothing really about the 5 elements. So now is the time to talk about it. Okay，好，我今天还特地把这个笔记全部都拿出来了。I specifically take out my my notes in here so that I can read the notes here on my laptop while talking to you guys. Okay. So again, guys, the last half an hour we're gonna talk about something here. Yeah，这个土味情话也很有趣啊！我也觉得这个 Crystal Literacy，我很想我玩这个土味情话玩的很开心。我跟你说，有一段时间，so when 土味情话 became first popular on the internet, oh, I was never tired of playing it。就是大家记得，就是抖音在很多年以前有一段时间土味情话特别流行哦。那段时间我在看到网上各种网友晒土味情话的时候，哇塞，我好喜欢呐、我太喜欢了。然后我就各种玩这个土味情话的梗，搞就是各种人去玩这个土味情话的梗。Yeah, so okay, yeah, so guys, back to the 5 elements. How many of you guys still remember it? Yeah, what are the 5 elements? Do you guys still remember it? I'm not gonna show you guys. Okay, yeah, okay, 好了，我们来开始上课了哈，开始上课了啊。Time to start the lesson. Okay，王校长带动了，我在输液，想你的液。我在输液，想你的液。等我去收集一些，再跟你来玩，跟你们来玩。好的，好的，先收集一些，我们到时候找一天来一起玩土味情话吧。我觉得这个好好玩。我真的超喜欢玩，我也去收集一点，然后我们找一天来玩，好吧？Yeah, I'm gonna also pick up some like cheesy pickup lines, and we're gonna play it one of the live stream session. That's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Okay, guys, tell me. Okay, do you still remember what the 5 elements? What are the 5 elements? We have talked about it yesterday. I'm gonna time to test your knowledge. Okay, time to test your knowledge. People tell me what are the 5 elements? 五行是哪五行啊？中国的朋友们可以有创意一点哈，什么什么天雷勾地火啊，什么什么那个叫什么来着？德智体美劳都可以哈。What are the 5 elements in Chinese 5 element system? What are the five elements in the Chinese five element system? Guys, do you remember? Yeah, yeah. Water, fire, earth. Yeah, but I mean Chinese friends, all the Chinese friends, give me some creative answers. Give me some abstract kind of answers. Okay. 中国的宝宝们给一些抽象一些的答案。Yeah. Yeah, what are the five elements? Do you guys still remember? For foreign friends, do you guys still remember what are the five elements? We have said it today. Yeah, it said it yesterday. 衣食吃住行，可以，来，再来点有创意的，有创意的。哦，昨天最搞笑的是那个叫什么来着？那个德智体美劳，我看了直接笑喷了。对，Yeah, what are the five elements? Do you guys still remember? What are the five elements? Okay, lots of people remember it. I like it. Okay, so it's the five elements. Okay, it's fire, earth, wood, metal, and water. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5上山打老虎可以哈，中国的宝宝们可以啊。色受想行识可以啊，这个中国的宝宝们就来一些搞笑版本的哈，来点搞笑版本的。The five elements in the Chinese five element system are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. Okay. Yeah, it's great that many people still remember it. Okay, that's are the five elements, and we also said that everything in here is related to the five elements. So the seasons are related to the five elements, right? We said it yesterday. And also organs inside our body are also related to the five elements. 耳眼鼻舌身可以哈，也好，这个也是很有创意的答案。中国的宝宝们可以给一点有创意的答案哈。五行是哪五行啊？给点有创意的答案。酸甜苦辣咸可以。哦，昨天没来哈，昨天问了大家五行是什么，然后有人就说了很搞笑的答案。中国宝宝们可以给点搞笑的答案，因为大家中国人肯定都知道。不过每个地方的文化不一样，以哪个为中心？现在整个时代，整个全球啊，啥呀？没听懂。And guys, follow me please if you haven't done so. Okay, follow me please if you haven't done so. So these are the five elements. Okay, again, yeah. So we have five elements in here that is fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And we're saying that in the Chinese wisdom, everything here is related to the five elements. We were saying that spring is the season of wood, right? Do you guys remember? The logic behind that is in springtime, you see all the plants start to grow leaves, right? All the plants start to grow leaves. So that's why spring is the time of wood. And also when it comes to our body, liver is the wood element, okay? Liver is the wood element organ, okay? 肝是主木的. So that's why like when it's coming to spring, so you have to do everything around wood, okay? So you need to eat lots of green vegetables. 春天要吃绿色的食物, green vegetables, because green vegetables is something that is has like also had wood elements in it. So that's why like in springtime, you need also grow your body and specifically grow your liver. Okay, that is time to grow your liver. Okay, yeah. Yeah, 柴米油盐酱葡萄酸甜苦辣咸，酸甜苦辣咸，喜怒哀乐，民以食为天，可以，都是很有创意的答案哈，很有创意的答案。来，大家随便来讲一下五行，中国朋友们可以给一些比较有创意的答案，这个很有创意啊。OK，yeah, and also when it comes to summer, that is the fire energy. Okay, so we say like summer is the fire energy, fire element season. And that's why like in summertime you need to eat lots of food that has red color, right? Red color. And also when it comes to the organ, your heart is the like the fire energy organ. So that's why summer is the time to nurture your heart. Okay, we said about something like that. And also it comes to earth. Okay, so earth is also an element for summer. It's usually for a long summer. Okay, some summer is short, some summer is long. We have a long summer. The longer part of the summer is the earth energy. Okay, 长夏的夏后半段就是土元素了。Then it comes to autumn. Autumn is the metal energy. Okay, autumn is the metal energy, and then the winter is the water energy. Okay, winter is the water energy. Okay, so that's why like a different part. So for example, water energy is kidney. Okay, 肾主水. Okay, kidney is water energy. So that's why when it comes to winter, like you also need to start to eat something that is black and that is good for your kidney. Okay, that is good for your kidney. Okay. Yeah, and metal you guys see is orange, right? So that's why like when it comes to autumn, you need to also start to nurture your stomach. Okay, your stomach. The orange, start to eat something orange, for example, pumpkins, right? These are good for your stomach, right? So that is the whole theory, okay? So we also say that different energy represents different elements, represents different energy in the Chinese wisdom as well. Okay, so we say that yesterday, well, yesterday we didn't really elaborate on that, so today we could elaborate on that. Yeah, 我来看一下哈，诶，我把这个缩小一下，我要看一下我的笔记。说什么是东方的这个系统，我来找一下哈。OK, yeah. So for example, when we say like the five elements like wood, fire, metal, earth, and water, right? And different energy represents different and different elements actually represent different energy. Okay, different energy. For example, wood represents the energy of growth, a new starting point. 啊，木的对应的这个关键词就是成长和新起点。And fire elements represents passion, influence. So this is like the wood, okay? The wood energy that represents, okay? Yeah, 分久必合，合久必分。为啥突然来这个？Yeah, and Earth represents what? Earth represents what? So the keywords for Earth energy, Earth element is actually stability, family. Okay, somehow they related, right? Fire is like passion, like influence, right? Wood is like growth, right? And also like a new starting point, right? And Earth is like stability, family. Okay, it's always been there, right? And metal is logic and also wealth. Metal represents the keywords is logic and wealth, right? And finally, water. Water is intuition, intuition and remedy. Okay, intuition remedy. 它是直觉和疗愈. Okay, so different energy actually different element actually represents different energy. So and also we explained yesterday that all the five elements actually really interrelated with each other. So somehow they grow one another and also controls one another, right? 我们说五行它们是相生相克的，对，追本溯源都是来自于农业，对的，这个没有错。对，so they are all related to each other. So we know that wood grows and nurtures fire, and water nurtures grows wood, and somehow they would also controls each other. So 对角线 how to say 对角线 how to say 对角线 diagonal lines, is it called 对角线 is it called diagonal lines? Yeah. So so they actually, if you look at this whole map, so everything that is beside the other thing, so they would grow it. Okay. So fire grows earth, earth grows metal, metal grows water, water grows wood, and wood grows fire, right? So we're saying that, it's pretty easier to understand, right? For example, you need water to water the plant so that the wood would grow, right? You would wood to grow fire because without wood, you cannot burn fire. So everything goes around the circle. So everything just grows one another. And the diagonal lines basically means one controls another, right? So fire controls metal, metal controls wood, wood controls earth, earth controls water, and water controls fire. So if you want to put out a fire, what you do, use water to put out the fire, right? So if you want to get rid of the earth, you just plant on top of the earth. So you would have lots of wood. Yeah, so that's the whole system. So based on the whole system and also relate that with all the different keywords we just mentioned about, that comes to the new theory, okay? So we say that in the five element system and also actually throughout the entire Chinese wisdom, everything is about balance, right? We said that we said that like the reason why people study it is it's so important to keep balance. Okay. Yeah, it's so important to keep balance, right? We say it. Yeah, so to keep balance means that you would want everything to be balanced. It's not good to have too much of something. You think, oh, having too much money is good, but not really. Okay. Oh, having too much of passion is good, not really. It's always about balance. 主播这讲的是什么？在讲五行理论，五行理论，OK，在讲五行，在用英文跟老外科普五行，OK。Yeah, so this is the thing, okay? So that's why, like we say, okay, remember again. So I'm going to repeat it again. So, wood represents the keywords of growth, new starting point, okay? And also, fire represents the keywords passion, influence. Metal is logic, wealth. earth is stability, family, and water is intuition, remedy. Okay, so then we start to see having too much of each energy will cause what kind of problems. Okay, so let's first of all say, let's say metal. What is the keywords behind metal? What's the keywords behind metal? Okay, guys, follow me please if you haven't done so. Okay, 鼻子又开始痒了，哎呀，真讨厌，真的是。Yeah, what are the keywords behind metal? Yeah, guys, follow me please if you haven't done so. Okay, follow me please if you haven't done so. 没有关注的可以点一下关注哈。就刚才说 metal, what's the kind of keywords behind metal? The keywords behind metal is logic and also wealth, right? Logic and also wealth, right? So if you have too much, metal energy, then what happens? Too much mental energy, then potentially you would become a workaholic. You have to work all the time. You want to just make all the big achievements to fill in the hollowness in your life, right? And also you potentially will have a strong, strong you just like to control people, and it's hard for you to delegate power to others, and potentially you would also have some other problems. For example, you may suffer from headaches or like stiff neck, something like that. 老外还对这个感兴趣，我跟你说，老外对这个可感兴趣了。可感兴趣了. If I could follow you twice, I would. Thank you, social knickknack. Yeah. So this is the problems when you have too much mental energy, okay? And then like what happens if you do not have enough mental energy? Yeah. So like I said, the keywords when it's related to mental energy is logic and also wealth, right? When you lack enough mental energy, what happens is that you will start to feel, oh, you don't have any direction when it comes to life. And also you always you're a little bit rebellious. You're rebellious when it comes to your father and when it comes to your boss, right? You just couldn't work very well with your boss or deal very well with your father, something like that. Yeah. So these potentially are the problems when you're having less, like too little metal energy. Okay, so that is metal energy. And also we could do something. Okay, so that's metal. Okay, we can also do like earth. Okay, earth. So what is the keywords behind earth? What is the keywords behind earth? The keywords behind earth is family and stability, right? Family and stabilities. And then the problem is that if you do not have enough, if you have too much like earth energy, okay, you have too much earth element. Too much earth meaning what? Yeah, if you have too much earth, so if you have a balanced status of earth is like a balanced status of earth is like, oh, okay, you're having a pretty good family life. Okay, you're pretty happy to be at home, spend time with your family, and also you don't feel like you're restrained by anything, right? And also somehow you're good at making some money, support the family, have a pretty good living, right? But if you have too much of it, like if you have too much earth energy, like you always want stability, you always want your berry. That is so funny, right? So that's why like you have too much earth energy, then you would want stability too much, right? You would just crave more for stability relatively higher than others, right? Compared to others, okay, they're okay with this type of stability, but you just always want more stability because you have lots of earth element in you. When you demand stability way more than others, then you would want to just overly accumulate stuff and money, right? And you would also do one thing because you have a very strong, overly big, strong sense of family orientation. So that's why, like, you would also take good care of others, like overly take good care of others, but neglecting yourself, right? Neglecting yourself. So that's a problem of not balanced earth energy, right? And also, what happens if you do not have enough earth energy? If you do not have enough earth energy, then you do not need enough sense of stability, then your life will be full of instability. So for example, you do not have the sense of belongings, right? Because you do not have like earth energy, you don't know what is like stability, and you lack enough level of stability, right? You just, for example, you would move very frequently from time to time, just move from here to there, like, and also you don't have the sense of belongings, right? So that's a problem with the earth energy, right? And so we could also explain with metal and water and wood and fire, right? So all of them, I just used two as an example to share with you guys. Like for every energy, it is okay to be balanced. It is best to be balanced. Whether whenever you have too much of it. So even though like each keyword sounds to be good, right? Each keyword, like fire means passion and water means intuition, and earth means like stability, right? These all seems to be very good words, but the problem behind that is it doesn't work in a way that always good to have a lot of them, right? It's not good to have too much passion, too much stability, or too much intuition. It's never good to overly have something. Okay, it's always about balance. It's always about balance. So that's why, like I say, that balance is one thing. And if you seem to have a lot of one thing or have less of one thing, what you need to do is go across the table. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So go across the table, just work in a way. So if say, for example, if you are having too much of it, let's say if you have too much of the water, then you need to somehow to make sure you decrease some of the water, right? If you have too much passion, and one way to decrease it is to use some other elements to decrease it, to decrease it. It's more like you're say for example, if you're sick, then somehow you just need to take some medicines to help to decrease the bacteria. Okay, something like that. Okay, so when you have too much water, too much fire energy, then you need to introduce some of the water energy in it, and let the water to somehow reduce the fire because this is diagonal, right? And somehow water controls fire. So that's why, like in your life, you have to introduce some of the water energy in it, somehow to reduce the fire, too much fire in it. So when what's the problem when you have too much fire? Let me see. If you have too much fire, then potentially you would have like overly passionate about many things. Like when you're overly passionate, in Chinese we say 你就会有非常强的表现欲。表现欲怎么讲？表现欲英文怎么讲？表现欲怎么讲？表现欲 is like something like you would always just want to perform in front of others. Perform in front of others. Well, actually, it's not like we perform. You just want to show off yourself in front of others. Yeah, that is a good word. Like you just want to show off in front of others, right? A lot of the time, because like if you have too much fire, right? Yeah, being overly dramatic. Yes, yes, that is also a pretty good word. Yeah, thank you. Who's that? Yeah, thank you. Ah, Wan Wan. Yeah, dramatic. Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, Wan Wan, 关注我了吗? Have you guys followed me? If you haven't followed me, please. Yeah. So if you have too much fire energy, then you potentially would be like a little bit more dramatic, and also want to overly want to show off in public, something like that. And also maybe you would also suffer from sleep issues. Okay, sleep issues because you cannot just turn off your brain. You're always passionate, right? And your brain just has a lot of things overly in your head. Would also have too much anger? Yes, potentially. Yes. So these are also all the kind of problems when you have too much fire energy, right? So we have too much fire energy. So these are the problems you have, and you would want to introduce water energy to help decrease the fire energy to keep to them reach the balance. Okay, to reach the balance. So that's what you do. Okay. 水克火，所以你要用水相关的元素来帮助你去缓解身体里边过多的火元素。OK， yeah. And also, if you are lacking fire energy, then basically means you're just not passionate about many things in life, right? You're not passionate about life. You're not passionate about anything. You're afraid of speaking, talking in public, communicating in public with others, right? These are also the kind of problems when it comes to having not enough fire energy. Okay. So when you're having not enough fire energy, what you do is you need to introduce the wood energy. Okay, the wood energy to help you increase your fire energy. Yeah, 你需要引入木元素来帮助你去生火。Okay. So it's very funny that the way you do that is not like, oh, if you lack something, if you lack fire energy, then you're just gonna have to have a lot of fire energy. It's more about you introduce another energy to help you grow this energy. It's not like just by adding it directly into it. It's more so I think so that is also why we say like the Chinese medicines, the traditional Chinese medicine is really effective. So for the Western medicine, it's like, oh, you're lacking fire, then okay, go eat more fire. That's how you're able to grow more fire, right? That's how you're able to have more fire. But somehow, if you do not solve this problem from the root, right? If you do not add extra wood, no matter how much fire you add to it, it will just diminish. It will just diminish, right? If you do not solve it from the root by adding more wood, then how are you gonna make your fire keep burning? If you add, so for example, you have lots of fire there, you have less fire in there. Look, by adding lots of wood, the fire will start to grow by itself and become bigger, right? If you do not have a lot of fire, like, well, even you just have that little wood, and even though you just put a lot of fire in it, the fire will just diminish because fire needs wood to burn. Yeah, exactly. So if you look at traditional Chinese medicine, it all works that way. 中医理论体系都是这样，它不是说你缺啥你就得补啥，它永远都是看的时候你缺啥是什么样的原因导致了这个问题，所以永远都是从源头上解决问题的。So that's why we say that in traditional Chinese medicine system, it's never about solving the problem from the surface. It's always about solving the problem from the root. Okay, solving the problem from root. So, for example, when it comes to Chinese medicine, they would see, okay, what are the symptoms you're suffering? Right? For example, you start to have pimples on your face, right? And then they will start to judge what's the reason behind why you start to have the pimples. It's never about just put some like creams onto the face to help diminish to help remove this or to help just decrease those kind of pimples in your face on your face because it's only going to solve this problem temporarily 对不对？上病治未病，对，或者说它是从根上去治的。We know nowadays there are lots of medicines, lots of creams. Oh, by applying it, oh, okay, the pimples go away, but somehow after a while they come back and even more severely. Right? So the Chinese medicine system would do one thing, which is by really studying what's the root that cause you to have pimples on your face and try to give you medicines that solve you the root problems, right? For example, oh, maybe it's because you have too much fire in your body. 你身体开始上火了, so that's why they give you medicine to help you decrease the fire, to help your body to reach balance again so that you will not have any pimples anymore. Right? So that is how we do it, okay, according to 这个金木水火土这个理论, okay? So for example, if you're talking about 风水, where you're talking about 玄学, okay? If you're talking about like karma, those kind of things, one of the way of helping you enhance life. So these are things some people call superstitious, but like in Chinese, we also say something which is you'd rather believe in it than not to believe in it, right? 宁可信其有，不可信其无 which is also like feng shui also works around that, right? You could also judge what are the things that is missing in this in this home, right? And which direction points to what are the elements that is missing inside your home, and that's why you need to put a plant in where, and that's why you put a small golden kind of stuff in where, and also you need to wear what kind of bracelets, what kind of earrings, what kind of necklaces to help you to balance the five elements, something like that. So everything in the Chinese theory is around balance, okay? Everything is around balance and everything is related to the five elements in Chinese. This is a very important and very interesting wisdom that comes from 3,000 years ago. 这是3000年以来的这个传统的智慧，在很早以前哈，中国的古人就开始去夜观星象啊。From many many years ago, like 3,000 years ago, the ancient Chinese scholars then start to observe the skies and start to observe the rules of the nature, like why everything grows by supporting each other and controlling each other, and it comes up with this system, the kind of system I'm sharing with you nowadays. Okay. So also you will notice one thing, which is like some of those systems that works like just matches pretty much with some other system. So in different culture, each cultures have those kind of systems. I have also shared that in Indian system, okay, they have this chakra system. They have chakra system that says that throughout your body you have like seven wheels. You have seven wheels. Okay, you have seven chakra system. 你身体里面有7个脉轮. So the seven chakra system goes from bottom to your head, right? And the bottom is 海底轮. Your top of your head is another 什么太阳轮呢？忘了。So each of the wheels, each of the chakra system inside your body also represents different energy. It's very similar to the Chinese energy system. We say in here that, oh, okay, we have 5 elements, like each element represents different energy level, okay? So also like you would notice one thing, which is the Chinese like astrology system also is quite similar to the Western astrology system. Yeah. So these systems are pretty interesting and they actually work. Yeah, I do think they work. 在那个西方也有这个星象学嘛，研究星座啊什么来着？你会发现西方的星象学的系统和中国的这个八卦的这个星象学的系统里面有非常多的这个异曲同工之处。 有非常多的异曲同工之处。There are lots of similarity that is shared between the two systems. Yeah. 三轮对，我看找到了，这个我当时有写的。最下面的是海底轮啊。So when it comes down below, so when it comes to chakra system, the places that's close to your tailbone is the 海底轮, the root wheel, which is called Maladara. And then it's the 生殖轮, 脐轮. Yeah, and it's the next wheel that is around your 生殖系统怎么说 Yeah, 生殖 area. Yeah. So that is in the lower abdomen. Yeah, and then it comes up all the ways down to the heart wheel and the throat wheel and go all the way to the top wheel, yeah, top of the. So there are all together like 7 different wheels. So all of these kind of systems they share a lot of things in common. So that's why, ooh, ooh, ooh. 哇塞，好久没有我，好吧，小红书被禁了。But it's like 9:30 China time. So anyhow, we're gonna stop. Okay. Somehow that